Ayan?
Yes, sir.
So Ayan, actually I was not able to get into your work, so so can we get today evening if it is possible? Or
Okay, sir.
let's say I can get you after some time today.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I think it's recording now. Okay, so now let me share my screen
Sir,
first.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಪಡ ಹಾಕೋ video ಏನವಾ?
Actually, I have not got into the anybody's work, Babu. I am very busy this week. This week till Friday, I'm completely consumed. But still, I'll look into their work today.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So actually, what I am teaching the other section is you can see there is something like this. I have been teaching to other section. So let me just show you what I have done basically. So let me just go to. Okay. This is not for you actually. This is something that we will be trying to implement, and then there are few things that you have to do, and there are few things that I'll do. Run and check. So this is basically some sort of, I just want to design some sorts of, let's say, library, online library management system. A very small project. We don't want to make it very big. A small project we want to try out, in which you have, let's say, user. You have such forms like this in which you'll be able to, let's say, curate users. You'll be able to manage the books category. You'll be able to manage the books. You might be able to issue the books. You might be able to return the books. You might be able to view the issued books. You might be able to view the due books. So this is one perspective with the admin point of view or the librarian point of view, and there is another perspective with the user point of view. That might be the student. The student might issue the books. They might return the books. All right. So this is something that we want to do. We really want to do. We want to implement a small project with the ASP.NET waveforms, and later on we can convert that to the MVC model architecture. And while implementing this project, we'll be also developing some concepts related to the interfaces and the abstract classes, which are seriously important in your project. They are very important for your career point of view. Okay, so let me go and start with the ASP.NET waveforms first before we get into the MVC architecture. So just let me start a new project. Okay, and let me just go for a very something really basics first, then I'll be getting into some more details. So let me start with a new project and let me make it some, let's say, wave and ASP.NET waveform application. Let me make it test application. First I'm going to create a test application. Last I'm going to choose a Visual C Sharp, and I'm going to take a wave, and I'm going to take an empty wave application for now. Let me create. Okay. Okay, I have taken an empty web application for now, and in the empty web application, you have nothing here right now. So my request to everybody is to make you one study. So I want you to study one thing on my behalf or on your behalf. But this is not actually required whenever you go to the industry these days. This is simply something that you need to learn. You need to know ASP.NET Wave Lifecycle. Just try to learn this, everybody. You just can Google, you can find a lots of resources for ASP.NET Lifecycle. Make sure that you learn this stuff. If you are really working with the ASP.NET forms, then there must be probably 90% of the time is that you might be asked this question. But our target is not to go into the ASP.NET waveforms. We'll be getting into the MVC architecture. That there are some routing and other important mechanism that is used alternative to this ASP.NET lifecycle. But if you are working with the ASP.NET waveforms, so you must need to have an idea of ASP.NET lifecycle. So I would like to request to go through the ASP.NET lifecycle, everybody. Okay, now let me get started to the test application. Now you have an empty application. You have nothing out here. Okay, you have nothing here. So what I can do is I can create a couple of forms. I basically in the Windows form we had a Windows application. You have a Windows form. Here you'll have a wave forms. So if you right click and you can click, you can see there is something called waveform. So let me just create some waveform, and let me name it just index.aspx. So let me say this is my first waveform. I can create some other waveforms. So let me just create some more. I can also name, let's say, waveform, and I can make it a page2.aspx. Okay, page1.aspx. Make page2.aspx. I can have a multiple web pages as much as I want. I can have multiple, any number of pages, page2.aspx. So I have two web pages and three web pages. In fact, one is a default.aspx, in which we have page1.aspx, we have a page2.aspx. So let me go to index.aspx, and this code resembles to something like the HTML. Okay, but these codes are combination of the HTML plus C# code. For example, if you see in the top, you will see there is some page directives. So this is called page directives. Under the page directory, you will see some information like the language that you're going to use, so code behind, and what is this inheriting from. So this is inheriting from the test applications. The code behind is the index.spx, and I'm not sure about this auto event wireup. So you have a HTML5 tags. Okay, you have a validation for this HTML tag. You have a head that is running onto the server. So what is the meaning of running onto the server? So running onto the server means this is a server side code. So whenever you send a request to the website, whenever you send a request to the browser, so basically this will go to the server, and this will render you this as in plain HTML. For example, let's say this is test title. Okay, let's say this is test. Let's say I just want to have something that this is default page. Let me create h1, and let me just say this is default page. And there are some hidden fields here. So hidden fields are, let's say, what you call is a view state. So view states are the hidden field that is used for the security purpose of this web page. So if I run this application, you can either press Ctrl F5, or you can simply click on this browser option. So you can see this is a default page. So let me right click and let me see the code here. So if you could see the code, you won't see the run at equals to server anywhere. So initially we had run at equals to server, but you don't have a head run at equals to server onto the client side, because this is processed to the server. Request goes to the server, and through the use of the browser, and then what you get is a plain HTML. You simply get a plain HTML tag. So you can see your method has been used, post method has been used, and there is some hidden field called the post, let's say, view state, and view state is having a value. The view state is having a value. So view state is nothing but view state is simply the variable that is used to store the state of a page. Okay, the view state is a variable that is used to save the state of a page, and view state is only applicable for the waveforms. You won't see a view state in your MVC architecture. Alright, and this is the h1 tag in which you are getting default page. So you won't see anywhere run at equals to server, because this is processed to the server, and whatever you get is a plain HTML. So this is the logic behind working around with the HTML, sorry, ASP.NET page or PHP page. Even in the PHP, you'll be getting the similar. You won't get a PHP code anywhere for the security purpose and everything. Okay. So now let me see the page. How could you redirect to the other pages and everything? So you could also redirect to the other page by using a C# code, or you can simply create the link and so on. For example, let's say here I just want to go to page 1, and let me write here this is page 1, and let's say this is h1 again here. I hope you understand HTML5 HTML tags. This is the first page. Let me go here and let me make it the second page, h1. This is the second page. Alright, we created the first page, we created the second page. Let me save and let me run. So watch it. Let me choose the index.aspx. Let me just press Ctrl F5. So the control F5 is run without debugging. So I still get the page. Let me choose page 1.aspx. I get page 1. If we choose page 2.aspx, this is second page, right? Let me see how can I connect enter. So let me also, you can have again the same HTML tag written here. Sorry, not the link. That's page 1.aspx. Page 1. Let me also have a home. It's index.aspx.
सर एउटा वेब एप नि बनाउँछु नि हैन
I'm going to create a web app. Finally, now we'll be working only on the web app now. So let me run and check. Yeah, so we have a home page, we have a go to page 1, go to page 2. So let me just go to page 1 and we got it here. Let me go back, go to page 2, we got to go to page 2. Let me go to home page and we are on the home page. Now what I want to show you basically here is, now this code will be redundant everywhere. For example, if you are not applying some logic or event, let's say some concept of the master pages, or let's say, so let me make it 200, 150. So let me just paste it here. So again, I have to paste it everywhere. Not a good idea actually, not a good idea to repeat a code everywhere. So let me go to index.aspx and let me again put the control F5 and you'll see that you have go to page 1, go to page 1, go to page 2. You can even apply the style to them. Okay, so for example, you can even apply the style to this ahref and so many stuffs. For example, I could keep them under ul, I can keep them under li. To keep them under ul and li basically. So this is the main concept. I keep them under li. Let me review the change. What really happens is, no big changes because we have simply kept in the ul. Okay, you got it something like this onto the separate line. But in that second page you'll get this one, in second page you'll get this one. So only one place we have made reference, in other page we have not done anything. You could also apply the internal style sheet here. For example, you could make it inline style, you could make it internal style, whatever you want to think we can do it or do over here. You could also write your own style sheet here. For example, you could make
सर स्क्रिन शेयर गर्नुभएको छ तपाईले
China. I think I have shared. Just a second, right?
के भर्खर आयो सर भर्खर ब्ल्याङ्क आइरहेको थियो भर्खर
The screen is shared.
भयो सर भयो सेयर
Okay.
भयो मेरोमा भर्खर
Okay. So let me just put a UL and let list style none. Just not apply anything to the UL. Let's say let's say height of let's say 40 px, 40 px. Okay. So let me review the changes for this index page, and this will be applicable only for this index. So we have changed the index page only for the first page.
line height let's key on it.
Line height will basically assign you, will give you a height from the top and the bottom. For example, if your total height is 40 px and if you keep a line height of 40, then your element will be aligned into the center, vertically centered. Background, let me make some color, and let us see color cost. Some color here. Okay, let me choose this color and let me see how it looks first.
सर हाम्रो अगाडिको प्रोजेक्ट सकिसक्यो
That is done. Only that set of files is done. Set of files to be done. Set of, I will just give you some videos and everything. Then that will be done. Yeah. So you can see. Let me apply the width. So this CSS you might have learned already in your website design part. I'm not good with the CSS and design part, so you can take care of it. So you have, okay, so again one thing more here. So I just want to have text aligned to center. Change to some. Okay. Yeah, now we have a menu option here. Let's say home page, go to page 1, go to page 2, and you can see this is coming in exactly in the center. This is coming exactly in the center because of this line height. Whatever is that, this total height is 40, line height is 40, that means this will be exactly onto the center. Okay. So now if you want to reflect it to the other pages as well, what you need to do is to copy this code everywhere. But for now, we'll just try to make a copy of this. Later on, we'll try to customize it with the help of a we will just customize it with the help of a master page. So let me just copy this style everywhere. Let me copy this style and let me put it in page1.aspx as well as in page2.aspx. Let me copy it here. Let me save this and let me put it here as well.
So import गरेर गर्नु यसरी गर्दाखेरि धेरै हुन्छ र कोड
Oh, यसरी हामी गर्दैनौँ. We will not do that. Okay, I'm just we will not do like this. We are going to write our own CSS. Okay, so don't worry about it because we do not want to do like this. We are not going to do this way. This is just to make a okay. Let me control this and let me go to now page 2. Okay, page 1. Let me just copy it. Okay, page 1 already copied this one. Okay, let me copy it here. We want everything in the li section. Okay, page 2. Okay, now let me review the changes. Now let me, wherever I go, I think I should be able to access. So even if this is the second page, so I can go to page 1, go to page 2, home page and everything. So actually not a good idea like this, not a good idea. But okay, it's not a good idea to do this way because later on we'll try to customize the code. So you can see how to customize like this because we do not want to do this here everywhere. So what we can do over here is we can simply create a CSS file, different CSS file, and you can apply that onto the different CSS file. So let me just create a folder. Let me create a folder and let me make it a or let me just create a style, or you can create a folder, and inside that folder you can create a css. So let me make it css folder. You can right click here as well, and you can click add, and you can click let's say style sheet, and I'm going to pick it style, and I'm going to copy my style sheet onto this page. For example, whatever the style I have written here, I'll just be copying this here. So let me cut this, let me cut it and remove this part, and let me paste it over to my style page, style set. So let me copy here. So let me just remove this part, let me paste it here. Let me save this. Now we can render it to the web page, to our different page. So we just need to go to link href equals to, you already have I think the idea, the style.css. This is the way that we can include the css file to our page. Let me copy it to everywhere. Now I don't need it. Now once this is done, now this could be even applied to your anywhere you want. Alright, so this is done. So let me save this and let me go to my index or wherever I want. So I can look F5, and you can see that now the changes have still been reflected. Now just we made it in one place and we copied. So we had applied the external style to our page. Okay, we have made a external style to the page, but still this is repeated everywhere. So we do not want this to be repeated everywhere. For that, later on we'll be using a master pages. Okay, now we just created a form. Everybody just form, we just created multiple form, we just applied some style onto the, okay, and similar to the very similar to your let's say Windows form, in which you are able to create a form to read the user value. You also can create a user form in this as well. So there are some ways through which you can create. Either you can write a custom code, or you can simply go to a toolbox and you can drag and drop a whatever the thing that you want. For example, you have a button option, calendar, checkbox, text box, list box, a grid view, everything whatever was available in the Windows form. The more options are available into the web form. So you can just either do a drag and drop, or simply the better idea is to write your own code. So first, the most of the time what I do basically is to write my own code. So let me show you a small piece of, let me show you a small CSS to create some sorts of let's say text effect and the button control today. So let me right click on this and let me create on the add, and let me create on the waveform, and let me make it as a login.aspx. So let me make it a h1 edge, and I want my application to start from this page. So if I run my application, actually this is going to start now. So actually I want this to be the starter form now. So let me see why. So first of all, let me continue further. So I just created a div with the fields like online class library. Also let me link my css here. Let me link my css here. CSS folder style.css. So I just linked my css here. Okay, all right. So actually okay, so I need to have let's say I just want to create a login. So I will just take a table, I'll take some tr, I'll take a t, and under this I want to have a login page. So what I can do is I can simply take a sp.net control, so already passed, Need to pass around net cost to server. So this is one way, or we can also do the other way around. Let me take a note of TR. Here also you could have, let's say, you could go to toolbox. You can take a text box from here. So this is a very other option. So let me just make a TXT password. You need to specify the text mode for password. That's correct. And we need to have a button as well. So let me just take a button. So let me just go and take a button. So you can either go from here, or you can simply write your code. Okay, it's a button. So this is beauty and login. You need to have text equals to login. Okay. All right. So we just created a very small form. Let me run and check how it looks. Yeah. So I have a form, a very small form to create a login. Now let me style these forms.
Sir, your microphone is muted.
Okay. So I want to have a style. I just want to style my, let's say, sorry, not this one. So I just want to style my h1. So let me just put h1, and then I can style them. Let's say text align to center. I can change the font family to anything that I want. Area also, let's say one to further on. So you can change the font size. Let me have this as well, and we can change the color. Actually, color, we can make any color that makes sense. Okay. Now I want to apply the input. I want to increase the font size to, let's say, 30 px, and let me see how it looks with the 40 px. So let me go and take a test around for the login. Yeah, 40 px looks good. So okay, so before this input, I just want to apply it for the table. So tbl, I want to have margin, let's say 0 and auto.
सर हमें जावास्क्रिप्ट लाइब्रेरी युज गर्ने चाहिँ मिल्दैन यसमा
JavaScript mills, sir, you can use that. So let me see if it is 0 auto, whether this comes to the center or not. Yeah, this didn't come to the center because actually class has to be applied here. onto this table. So let me apply here. Let me save and let me run it again.
सूर्य हामीले खास के को लागि गर्ने हो यो
I'm just teaching you some basics, and later on we are going to develop a complete web app. We'll be developing now. Our project will be completely on web app, and all the theoretical concept will be doing it practically. जस्तो कि केही theoretical कुराहरू छन्, interfacesहरूको कुरा छ, abstract classesहरूको कुरा छ, त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ हामी practically गरेर we'll just finish them up with the help of this very small project. And then we'll be converting the same idea into the MVC model later on. पछि हामी यसलाई MVC हाम्रो डिजाइन प्याटर्नमा कन्भर्ट गर्छौँ, which is the part of our syllabus. So does that make a sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want it to be on the, let's say, vertically center. So I can just make a position absolute. Not this one, sorry. This one. Absolute.
अस्ति हामीले बनाएको प्रोजेक्ट छ नि
Sorry?
अस्ति हामीले बनाएको प्रोजेक्ट छ नि त्यो अनलाइन फर्ममा लान मिल्दैन
त्यसलाई के गर्ने रे?
अनलाइन फर्ममा सर अनलाइनले हेर्न मिल्ने गरी
That is only a desktop app, not an online one. त्यसलाई online बनाउन सकिन्छ. For online you have to use a server side control. You have to do it by using either you have to use web services. Okay, you can use some web services to make it online. Let us say how it looks now. So I'm just making it top 50 and the left 50, but this will be somewhere not exactly onto the position. So let me review the change. Okay, so because I'm not getting here, so login against this. Okay, it came here somewhere. Actually 50% भनेको यो चाहिँ यो point चाहिँ 50% हो. So it took it from this point. So I need to get 50% back here.
रेस्पोन्सिभ छ सर यो
हजुर
रेस्पोन्सिभ हुन्छ यति गर्दाखेरि चेक गर्नु
हुँदैन I'm not making it responsive now. For making responsive, what you can do, you have two options. You have 2 or 3 options. Either you write a media query or you do it by a bootstrap. Okay, this won't be responsive. Either you have to use a bootstrap or you have to use a media query. But we can make it responsive ourselves. You do it a media query, you can make it responsive. Not a big deal. Percent minus 50. Making minus 50% to the left, minus 50% to the right. Okay. So let me save this and let me review the change. Yeah, now we are onto the center, but you can see something is gone, so it's okay. Actually, I don't want this border and everything. So let me remove the border for this input. So border none. But the border to the bottom, I just want to place border to the bottom. TX solid black. Okay. This is here what I have done. Okay, actually I just want to make it dot input dot input. So let me review the change. Yeah, so I have a form here. So let me just make something here more. I want to have even something called a placeholder. So let me go to the login SPX and let me have some placeholder here. Placeholder equals to, let's say, username. Placeholder, let's say, password. And also what I want to do is I want the text to be aligned to the center. So let's just say text aligned to the center. successful right now. So let me run and check how it looks now. Yeah, so you have a username and you have a password script. So you have designed a small login form. You could be also having some icons here. So if you want, you can have some icon file here. So you can now increase this login button. So let me just go to login and let me increase it called span equals to 2.